which is by far much greater than anything else going right now. No country in the world today dare touch us because we do have a military power that can retaliate any time at all. So we don't have to do that.
Chain up the bombs.
But this whole idea of the terrorists coming, actually, if you put it into perspective, we find out that there are more people who die in bathtubs in this country than all the people who suffer from terrorism around the world. We put this in perspective. And more responsibility has to be put on the people. If we want to be a free society once again, we have to assume that responsibility. Responsibility for our own lives. If we screw up our lives, we should be responsible for it and not do it Also, financially, we are obligated. That doesn't mean that we don't have compassion and willingness to take care of our friends and neighbors. But we don't do it through force and through welfareism and socialism and warfareism, because once you concede that power to the government, what happens is special interests get control. Then you end up with the military-industrial complex and the medical-industrial complex, and everybody's up there fighting over all the loot they've stolen from us. Welfareism does exactly the opposite of what freedom does. Freedom brings us together. We're non-judgmental. We're not confrontational. Nobody can use violence. At the same time, when the government does it, it becomes very competitive. And then, when a country begins to get poorer, which we are, because of our economy and the unsoundness of our currency, now they become more aggressive and they hate each other because they're competing for this power. And unfortunately, too often, the poor who compete for some of this are usually left out. They're usually used as the excuse for the welfare system, but it becomes that the military-industrial complex and the business people and the bankers, and they get control and they run the show. That's the system that we have to change and get back to common sense and get back to the rule of law and get back to our Constitution. With a bit of optimism, because it's amazing. I'm always impressed with the fact that I do talk about our problems, and then I talk about what I think we should do, but most people come away thinking, wow, this is good because we have answers, we are hopeful, there's a way out of this mess. And the truth is that freedom really does work. Does work, and that's all we have to do is to resort to this. But since I've started the campaign, I tell people quite frankly that 8, 10, 12 months ago when we got talking about this, matter of fact, people had urged me to run for many years, and I said, no, there's not enough people care, you know, and where will they be, and where will the support come? So I was pessimistic, but I am not so pessimistic any longer. There was a large number of people like you that knew about it, understood it, didn't have any place to go, knew about the monetary issue and the tax issue and understood liberty, were generally not participating and didn't care and just were totally frustrated. But you had already been informed and knew and understood these issues. But the other magnificent thing are the number of young people that are coming into the fold once they hear the message. The system we have in Washington is not working, and everybody knows it. It's not going to work, and the dollar's going down, and we know we have major problems ahead. At the same time, this system isn't working and it's not financing. We have this grand opportunity. Those who had already been there, the young people who are joining us, and then the magic of the internet. So I would say there's every reason for us not to give up hope, but to have hope, but also to be realistic, because we don't know exactly what will come tomorrow or the next day or the day after. But we do know what we believe in, and we should be firm in our beliefs and never compromise on our beliefs, but work diligently to do that. Now, do whatever we need to do to promote this cause. The vehicles are here now, and the numbers are here, because when they hear the message, they will respond. People come and say, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm doing what I can. Really, just more of what you've been doing. And let the message spread. And everybody has their own way of doing this. There's no one way to do this. So it is spreading, and it is magnificent. It's a beautiful message. It's a wonderful message. It's a message of what America is all about and what has made us great. It is a message that will give us the prosperity so that we can be generous with those people who are in need. But once we use the coercive message, either to make people behave a certain way, or make the economy respond in a certain way, or tell other countries how to work, that is a failed policy. It's a use of force, and it always ends up badly. It's always done at the expense of liberty. Today, our movement moves in the opposite direction for the sole purpose of enhancing personal liberty and limiting the power and scope of the government.